here with my coffee, and this is my lunchtime reading material. This is the next book for the Catholic Book Club, which I think is early in November this month, and I can't go look right now. I should have done that before I hit record. But I believe I'm doing it the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, just because I figured the Wednesday before Thanksgiving we'd all be too busy. So it's a little earlier this month, which is like next week. Time is going quickly. But I haven't started reading yet. It's a children's book, so I think that we'll be able to read it somewhat quickly. So if you want to read it, there's still time. But this is part of Lisa Hendy's new Chime Travelers series for middle readers. And so that's exactly my son Henry's age. He's 10 now because he just had a birthday. So this is like, maybe 7 or 8 years old to 12. And chapter books about a boy and a girl that travel back in time to meet up with saints. And so the first 2 books, this is Saint Kateri Tekakwitha, who you all know I love her. So that's why I picked this one, The Sign of the Carved Cross. But there's also a St. Patrick one that is out. I bought them for Henry. And in the spring, she's going to have out 2 books about St. Francis of Assisi and St. Clare. So very fun. And I just thought it would be nice to have a children's book on our list. So away we go. So we'll be talking about this soon. I'm going to start reading while I eat lunch today. So at any rate, I just thought I'd lead off with that. But today's just kind of like a what's going on with me, what's coming up type of a post. And so I thought that I would devote the next month or so of these videos to just talking about interesting things that other people are working on, and that I have just, I feel blessed to have a very small part in. And so I'll be talking about that kind of stuff coming up. So today I'm talking about dance, but coming up I've got like some audio projects that I'm going to be participating in coming up. Like I said, they're other people's babies, but I will be like a guest and such on there. So I'll tell you all about that. And I'm participating in some writing projects. I'm very excited about that. I can't necessarily give a lot of detail now because it's not my details to give, but I can tease it a little bit. And what else? So there's Advent coming up, so we can talk about that. But things like that. And so I'm exciting. So like I said, today's topic is dance. And the reason I was thinking about this is a couple things. The first thing is that I've been dancing a lot lately. I've had a bunch of different performances, and performing is an intimidating thing, I think, for most people. It remains that way for me. But I will say that it only took 20 years, but I can honestly say that the more you do it, the more comfortable you will get with it. That's not to say you'll ever be comfortable with it. I'm just saying you'll be more comfortable to be able to actually do it. And so I actually enjoy it now for the most part, except for when I'm about to go out and do it, in which then I feel kind of sick to my stomach. But that's just part of it. It just means that I care. And I'm sure you all probably feel similarly. It just means that we really care about what we do and we want to make a good impression. And so it is what it is. But repetition, that's just the only way to get better at it. And I use performing very broadly. That's not just dancing or acting or singing in front of people. It's public speaking. It's even just being in front of a small group of your peers and, as part of, say, a conversation, but then, when it's your turn to speak, everybody's watching you, and that's, in a sense, it's a performance. So, yeah, it's tough, and the more you do it, it'll help. So that's kind of where I am right now. I still get nervous, but at this point of my life, I love it, and that is part of the reason why I do these videos. I feel a different connection with people when I do it, and I think that it's good for me. It's like eating vegetables. It's a way to become more comfortable being in front of others and putting your best foot forward. So I've been dancing more. I've been loving it. Nervous about it. I sweat still very much before I do it, but I do enjoy it. So I've had all of those amusing stories of late, and coming up we have a hafla in about a week and a half. I'm still picking my music. When I first started doing solos, I would choreograph them to within an inch of their life because I was so nervous. I couldn't think about anything else aside from the fact that I couldn't think while I was doing it. I wanted to be able to not have to think about anything aside from just relying on the choreography. And now I am allergic to choreography. unless it's for my troupe, obviously. For a group, you need to choreograph. But when I dance solo, I now take my time and pick music, and I'm more relaxed about it, which then helps when I actually perform because I feel more relaxed. It's all guys. But so I've been picking music. I think I'm gonna do like an upbeat instrumental thing with like a short text theme, what we call text theme. So a slower section in the center. I like songs like that that mix it up. So we'll have a fast segment and then a slower, maybe a drummy segment at the end. Keeps it interesting. So I have a song that I think I'm leaning towards that is structured like that. So I'm excited. Um, so I've been working on that, feeling very creatively inspired. But recently I had an interesting experience I thought I would relay. I noticed on my blog that I was getting a bunch of hits from a Catholic message board, well-known Catholic message board. So I was being nosy and I clicked on it and I went over there and I saw that the topic of the thread was belly dancing. It made me a little nervous because within the religious community, I can sometimes, and within the secular community too, don't get me wrong, it could be either, but I think it hurts me a little bit more when it comes from the religious community because I, that's something that I take very personally, seriously is what I mean. Um, and so it wounds me more, I guess, when it has that angle to it. But at any rate, I saw that, I'm turning down my volume because I'm getting a phone call. Okay, I called them back. So I nosed over and the topic was belly dancing, and I thought to myself, I hope that this isn't going to be something that is going to bother me. You know, that somebody's, look at this person that calls themselves a Catholic, they're a belly dancer, or they clearly don't know what the heck they're talking about, is you can't be those two things at the same time. And it was actually a very positive thread, and it made me very happy. A person was saying that there was a family wedding, there was going to be a belly dancer there, and some of their other friends who were coming were kind of scandalized by that, and they were trying to explain, the original poster was trying to explain, you know, this is cultural, there's nothing inappropriate about this, is very family-friendly, lively entertainment, and it's very common, you know, within Middle Eastern culture. And so they were just saying, like, is there anything I can say to kind of change people's minds about this? And one super kind person, so if you're watching this video, super kind person, leave me a comment on this post because I really appreciated your words. But he or she linked to my blog and said, you know, would it help if they saw, you know, that there is a person out there who is a Catholic and is, you know, a person who writes about Catholic things all the time. His faith is obviously very important to her, but she's also in her free time a belly dancer, and she writes about it and has a really, you know, interesting and fun perspective on it, and writes about how it's family friendly and totally appropriate and all these things. And it made me happy. It was very, very nice. I thought, what a refreshing thing. Not that I see a lot of negative comments. You know, it's one of those things where the negative ones tend to stick with you, but it shouldn't be that way because there's lots of positive. People are very positive about it, but those things tend to stick in your mind for better or for worse. And so I really appreciated that. I noticed that only one post in that whole thread, and it wasn't a person trying to be mean or anything, and they weren't talking about me at all. It was just like a general, well, you know, belly dance, you know, I know people disagree with me, but I just find it to be too sexual. There it is. I'll just put it out there. That's what the person said. And the thing is, I'm sure, unfortunately, that they have probably seen something, most likely on TV or in a movie, in which belly dance was portrayed in a very sexual manner. And that's unfortunate, but I know that that's out there, and that's likely why people form this impression, and that's too bad. But I just hope that, as the other people in this thread were saying, that people keep an open mind and realize that there's more than one way of seeing this, there's more than one way of portraying this, and the original intent is not a scandalous one. It's dance. All forms of dance could be accused of something negative because it does involve your body, right? Moving your body. But that's not supposed to be the intent. If it's portrayed that way, that's unfortunate. But this is the way it's intended, and there's lots of people out there that portray it in a way that is completely appropriate for all audiences, including children. So at any rate, it was a really nice boost to my feelings, I guess, about dancing, which already is so wonderful and important to me. It was nice to see somebody do that. So anyway, I thought it was a cute story, and I would just mention that. But, you know, what are you working on right now? Do you have anything that has a holiday performance coming up? I know that there's choral performances and Christmas shows and all that kind of thing that for other things within the arts. So do you have anything you're working on? Write in. I'd love to hear about it, and I look forward to talking to you all next week.